U.S. President Richard Nixon had promised during his visit to China that if he was re-elected in 1972's general elections, he would complete the normalization of ties with China. But that promise was never realized by neither Nixon nor his successor, Gerald Ford. In 1975, the Vietnam War ended. In 1976, PRC's first generation of leaders, Chairman Mao and Premier Zhou Enlai, passed away. Both countries were focusing on domestic affairs.
It was not until December 1978 that the two sides jointly released their joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic relations between the People's Republic of China and the United States of America. In this document, the administration U.S. President Jimmy Carter acknowledged three principles established in the Shanghai Communique 6 years earlier: a cutting off diplomatic relations with Taiwan, withdrawal of armed forces and military facilities from Taiwan, and annulling the treaties signed by the United States and Taiwan's Chiang Kai-shek regime. Diplomatic ties were officially set up with the People's Republic of China on New Year's Day, 1979.
But just weeks later, China's Vice Premier Deng Xiaoping visited the U.S. under the formal invitation of President Jimmy Carter.
邓小平改革开放的蓝图已经开始展现出来，改革开放的宏图大略当中，跟美国关系正常化是非常重要的一环。从政治上来说，它有利于塑造我们改革开放4个现代化建设的一个有利的国际环境。从经济上来说，那么它有利于中国得到资金、技术和市场。所以邓小平在实现中美关系正常化以后，在春节的时候，1月底，1979年1月底2月初，就高调访问美国。这个高调访问美国，它实际上是有一个意思，就是向全世界高调地宣布中国的改革开放的到来。
At the welcoming ceremony, the flags of both countries were raised side by side in front of the White House. President Carter arranged an honor guard and a 19-gun salute to welcome Deng. It was a rare privilege for a visiting non-head of state. Deng was in the U.S. for 9 days. The 74-year-old Chinese leader visited Washington, Atlanta, Houston, Seattle, and other major cities. He attended more than 80 diplomatic events, talking to U.S. media about China, the Chinese people, and the newly adopted reform and opening up policy. His approachable personality and plain-spoken diplomatic style won him a lot of fans in the U.S. public and media.
But Deng's visit opened up a new era of not just diplomatic activities, but also exchanges between the two countries. Deng and Carter signed several agreements covering exchanges in science and technology, as well as culture. And with Deng's promotion of the reform and opening up policy, Western investors also began to take notice of a whole new market, seeing China with fresh eyes. This wraps up our Sino-U.S. series for the moment. But tomorrow, we'll continue our review of China's diplomatic achievements in the past 70 years. The final decade of the 20th century was marked with the return of Hong Kong and Macau to China. It also opened a new chapter for China to solve historical problems on the global stage. So remember to tune in at the same time tomorrow on Global Watch.